Never, never, ever. Hi.
See, this time you were the one who did it to yourself.
I know, but it's all good.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, and welcome. It is Friday, which means it is time for another Paint and Slay, and this episode is episode 2 of the Treant from D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures line from WizKid. We're going to have some fun. I'm sorry, I just was about to inhale something and start choking, but I didn't.
No joking.
No joking. No, I'm all choked up. I'm all verklempt because of what we have to share about what's happening in game. So yeah, in case you missed the news or what have you, I don't know. There just happens to be a champion that you can unlock this weekend who just so happens to be my Voraneka. So if you haven't gotten into the game yet, and if you haven't unlocked Voraneka yet, what are you waiting for?
They're obviously waiting for Paint and Slay to be over.
Oh, there you go. So, you're hanging out with us first. That's fair. That's
exactly
fair.
you put your team on to go grind out a bunch of Voraneka chests and then come and watch us.
Yeah, I like that. So yes, you can go and you can unlock Voraneka, and also don't forget, she's got a funky skin going on, the Blight Druid Voraneka theme pack, and you can get Hemlock the Familiar, who, y'all see my cats on here all the time. Is Hemlock based on my Hemi? You better believe it.
Does Hemlock, the real cat, actually have snakes coming out of their back?
Hemingway? No, but he has a big fluffy tail, which kind of has a snake-like behavior on its own, but that's a different story.
Just hiding the snakes. Just hiding the snakes really well.
Just hiding the snakes. So there's that, and then there's also, don't forget, there are some really cool familiars that are also now in-game too, for Familiar Quest for Series 2, which will start airing Mondays right here at 5 p.m. Pacific, so make sure you check that one out. But yeah, you can see we have all these new forms for our returning familiars, and we have a new familiar, Marvel, who is joining the team. So this should be a lot of fun to see how this all plays out and what they're going to do together. I cannot wait to see.
Yeah.
And then we also have one more, which I had to save the best for last. There's also this other skin going on here, and I gotta shift it up back into place. There we go. We also have this skin.
Oh, that one. Oh, that one.
This is, totally normal, totally not creepy, totally not, heebie-jeebies, where there's a cranium rat Avron skin and feet pack that you can check out if you so want to. I'm just saying, I'm kind of loving that we have two creepy skins coming out at the same time together. I think it's fantastic and lots of spooky August fun. So I think that's everything we have going on. Anything else that I'm forgetting, Lauren?
As far as announcements for that, no, I think we're all good. We do have both Martin and Jordan as our moderators for this stream today. So thank you for being our moderators. They're going to be hanging out in chat. And if you have any questions for V and I about Voraneka, about Idle Champions, about painting, go ahead and put those in chat. Put question in big capital letters so that they can grab it and put it into our little backstage chat. So that way I don't miss it while I am concentrating on this tree.
This Treant. So we worked on the
and
Treant.
Their butt.
The butt. Do they have a butt? I guess there's a little bit of a butt.
There is a butt on this tree.
So we worked on this fellow. We got basically the body done and all the bark details, as well as the eyes, the the mouth and the knotwork. So we're going to be doing some more high detail work today, as well as working on the base, working on the stone that came along with this. And then we're going to have some fun with kit bashing this and giving this spooky fellow from Koshmar some Spanish moss details using basic cotton balls, believe it or not. So we're gonna look into doing that today. Now, I think let's keep working on the fact that we have the knot of wood on the top, not the knot, the cut area of the wood that we want to take care of that. So we're going to go first for some cork brown. And again, what we're doing is we're sort of, I guess it's not recycling. We're using the paints from the Chimera Paint Night kit, which is why you'll see us pulling out the little pots. So we're going to use cork brown first and do not quite dry brush, more of like the overbrush technique where it's a little bit heavier than dry brushing with cork brown. So you're going to want your dry brush for that and a paper towel. And we'll jump into doing that first.
All right.
And just very lightly bring out some of the details that's happening on that little bit of cut wood area at the top of the head.
And so literally just the top of the head.
Just the top of the head is going to get this.
All right.
Yeah. So we go in here and you can see it has like rings and cut lines and everything like that living there already. We're just going to, once I remove some cat hair, good grief. Speaking of cats.
I mean, that's what happens when they hang out as often as they do on the stream. They've just learned to hang out, and all right, so a little bit of cat hair. That's a price to pay. You can grab those cat hairs and use those to make a paintbrush.
There we go. Make spider webs with them.
Ooh, yeah.
Make spider web effects. So yeah, I'm just going to go in here and you can see it changes the color a little bit, which is what you want.
Nice. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of leaning over into the light because we're doing all of this detail. I have also got my window open again, so if you hear the murder outside, let me know. I'll do my best.
As in crows?
Oh, yes. Oh, always. Always. The squirrels and the murderer crows are they're just always hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in case there's new people in the chat. What do you mean the murder?
Yes, if you are new to Paint and Slay, every once in a while I keep my windows open because it's actually nice here in Seattle, and my lovely husband is a druid and has bamboozled all of the wildlife in this area to come by on a regular basis, and the crows get very vocal when he doesn't pay attention to them.
I love it.
So mad. All right.
And
done
then
with cork brown?
Cork brown for now. Now we're going to go to the really long one, German camouflage beige, World War II. Yeah. We're going to jump to that one. Oh, there's Rory. Speaking of cats. So Rory's going to hang out with us, apparently. Oh, yes, you're cute. I see you, honey.
Hi. This is also the moment for those of you who are new that you're going to see at least me making all kinds of faces because opening these pots.
Yeah.
It's always
a little bit of an adventure.
Yeah. It's that moment of like, oh, is this the one that's going to spray all over me? No. Okay, good. All right. Yeah. We're good.
And
all right, what are we doing with this one?
We're going to dry brush this on top very lightly. Just very lightly to bring up those details. But nothing too drastic. And that just highlights this a little bit more as opposed to keeping it in that darker tones where it was living before. I'm actually going to pay special attention to sort of the edging around here. Just to make it pop a little bit more.
Would this be considered the brain pan of this creature?
Oh, well, that's a very good question.
I mean, this gets into the whole idea of an animated tree. Do they even have a brain like we know of? Do they
only had a brain?
It's a sentient creature, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has.
Or is it
brain.
Like it's got a flat top of a head and the brain is still inside?
Maybe.
And it's sort of like camouflage. It looks like the top of its head's been cut off, but it's not real. Oh, we're gonna get philosophical about this mini.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, that takes care of the big old top of the head.
Big old brain pan.
Big old brain pan. Brain pan. And now
Are we done with the long named one?
For now, we are done with the very long
All
named
right.
one. Yes.
I'm going to
Now
carefully close it. Oh.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Well, you see, I do have a couple questions. Rough Rider
Ooh.
91, is there a wild offer storm advisory going on? I like that. Like that very much. Yeah, I believe the wild offer fun is happening.
Yay.
The crew is always looking to play around with the wild offers and see what works the best and is useful but not annoying. Finding that line is hard.
Yes.
And Huey Tillycodle says, I love how Voraneka's name sounds. What language or accent is it based on?
It is based on how I like to do naming things when I'm creating creatures and characters and places and everything like that. I will come up with a concept, a single word concept for a character. And with Nika, I wanted to have Raven as part of her name. And I also knew with it being Ravenloft that I wanted to go for more of a Eastern European-esque cadence of an accent. So I was like, okay, so let me take a look. So I went and I looked through various languages, and I think it was Russian that I ended up falling on, where I pulled, I think it's Voron is what it is for raven or crow in Russian. And I added the IKA at the end because it means little. So her name literally means little raven. So that's how Voraneka came about, which is why it's very deliberate. I'm like, no, it's not Veronica. It's Voraneka. There's a reason for it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's how it came about. Tapping into a name I wanted to incorporate into the character, and sort of feeding off of what language I liked the feel of for it. So that's the how do.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go back to chocolate brown, we are going to overbrush chocolate brown onto the beard. Oh, we're both doing that, like the wincing and carefully opening.
Yep. Okay. I also had to just find chocolate brown.
Yeah.
You know, all right,
the one that looks like Hershey's syrup.
There we go.
Yeah. Same thing.
Just on the beard, you said?
Just the beard. We're going to focus this on just the beard.
All right. Also, I saw someone in chat, Conradus81 says, I can't find anything out about Treant's brains. Hey, listen, we get into some weird conversations on this channel, and a lot of things in D&D are very intentionally left for your imagination and for the DM to think up, and because can you imagine how ponderous it would be if the designers tried to come up with every single little thing about the game. So yeah, I'm not surprised that there's no there's nothing specific about Treant.
All right, once you do the beard, I'm going to switch to my detail brush, and he's actually got a mustache. So we're also going to put this chocolate brown.
Oh yeah.
You see, it starts over here. There's this little flippity-do right here. Goes up and over and around the mouth, and it ends over here. So we're going to put some chocolate brown on that as well.
All right. Kind of highlight that.
Oh, we're going to do some more with this. We're going to give this a nice mossy green look.
My internet blipped for a moment there, but I think I'm back.
I think you're okay.
I think I'm okay. If I went away for a second, that was just me. It was just me yelling at the Corvids.
Oh, no.
Someone was also asking in chat about loud children. Here's the thing. The kids around here, they're great kids. They're just playing. They're playing like normal kids do. And when they're loud, they're just loud because they're playing. The ravens the crows are very specifically upset that my husband is not giving them attention.
So the crows are throwing tantrums while the kids are just playing games.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Checks out. That checks out.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Yeah, our apartment is close enough to one of the playgrounds that,
Oh yeah.
when they're having some fun out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine,
Yeah.
They're kids doing normal kid things. So
Right.
I try not to be that old person yelling on my lawn about
Get
it.
off my lawn.
Yeah. Like, wait a
Get off
second.
my lawn.
It's an apartment complex. It's kind of their lawn too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'm just realizing that for some reason the camera is looking a little funky for color, so I'm gonna play around a little bit.
Okay. I'm gonna continue to try to get at this beard.
Get the beard.
Get the
That's looking a
beard.
little bit better. Okay, we'll go for that one. We'll go for that one. We're happy with that one. Yay. All right, so once you get the chocolate brown on there, we're gonna cap this and go for some goblin green.
Goblin ouch green?
Goblin ouch green. Yeah, it's got a new name to it. We're gonna go for the goblin green and put that on a paper plate because we don't have it in a handy little pot to do that in. And
okay, though, because that means that neither of us have to do the thing to open it up.
Right?
Yeah. All right, and dry brushing with the goblin
dry brushing
green,
with the goblin green. Yep, and this will kind of give it like a mossy effect to the beard. So I'm actually going to use my detail brush and dry brush with my detail brush.
Oh.
For the mustache, and then I'll go in with my normal dry brush and do the beard, since the beard has a little bit more real estate on it. But that mustache is a little bit more finite in terms of what space you have to work with.
That makes sense. So I will start in the beard because I just grabbed my dry brush brush.
There you go.
My dry brush.
Brush.
Yeah. The dry brush, the rushing brush.
The brush. Literally, I'm just floating this above the surface on the flat side of the brush. I'm not using the point. I'm using the length of it to just guide over the surface and dry brush with my detail brush that way. Yeah.
This beard is also long enough that it almost melds into this guy's thigh.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
almost that point, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of an epic beard when you think about it.
I mean, I know guys who'd want a beard this long.
Yeah.
Like, they've been trying.
That's a lot to care for, though. Like,
right?
I couldn't imagine having to care for that much beard. But, there's awesome people like Garwar who do it every day.
This is true.
But I tend to be of the keep my hair incredibly easy to deal with. So maybe I'm the wrong person to ask. I am the person who wants to wake up in the morning and make it clean. And that's all I have to worry about.
I mean,
is it clean? Is it out of my face? Thank you. I'm done.
Do I need to worry about it? Nope. Grand.
Nope. So I have a lot of respect I tend to have respect for anyone who puts work into something. So even if it's not something I do myself or would do myself, anytime work is required and people have done the work, I find that impressive. And so even though I'm not into makeup and hair and clothing and any of that, I find it very impressive when people are stylish and have put the work in.
I don't know.
Partially because I respect work and partially because I also don't know how to do that.
I honestly like the ritual of it, of the getting ready in the morning, of like picking out the outfit, getting the accessories, figuring out, if I'm going to do makeup, how I'm going to do the makeup to go with it. It's just sort of I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Part of the morning routine.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I love this green. And
for me, the shower is the morning routine. Like, I need...
That makes sense. Yeah.
That's my cup of coffee in the morning. If I don't have that, then nothing is happening. I just feel disgusting all day.
I can very much respect that feeling. Like, it just doesn't feel right otherwise. All right, let me get this going for the dry brush on the beard.
Yeah, tickle under your nose. There we go. Just a little bit of nose tickling.
Tabletop gifts was, I wish I could grow a beard. What would you look like with a beard? That's a very good question. Isn't it? I always find it fascinating when people who've like either have never had facial hair and suddenly start growing it, or they've had facial hair forever and then suddenly they shave it off. Like just what a difference it makes in their appearances.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh, wow, it really changes your appearance.
Well, and especially when people who have had facial hair get rid of it, because when you're growing your hair out, and
Mm-hmm.
this I can only speak from this experience, but when you're growing your hair out, that's a long enough period of time that takes that people don't necessarily see the difference unless you
Mm-hmm.
start like holding up pictures and stuff.
Right.
But, if you show up one day and just have way less hair, everyone's doing the wait, what?
The what now?
What
The who
happened?
and the what now?
This is kind of cool.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Have you ever had the experience in where you've done your hair or makeup in a very different style and the cats freak out because they don't recognize you, or do they still recognize you?
No, they still recognize me. I think it's because
Okay.
my voice, I'm always talking to them. So as soon as they hear my voice, for them, it's like, oh yeah, it's you. Oh wait, no, I take it back. I was using hot rollers on my hair. I forgot about this. I just remembered. I was using hot rollers on my hair. So like I had like all the hot rollers kind of Medusa-esque going on.
Yeah.
And my little fellow who is not with us anymore, Killian, he took one look at me and boy howdy did he clear that room faster than I have ever seen him run.
Totally
And
noped out.
he was like, I don't know what this creature is. Goodbye. Just ran like the Dickens out the door, would not come out from his little hiding place until I had the curlers out of my hair. And he had like those huge, massive, like Puss in Boots saucer eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, okay, so clearly curlers are not your thing. I didn't put that association. I'm like, wait, I did look different. It wasn't for like a long period of time, but that was enough. Yes. I
Yeah.
did startle one of my cats.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Curlers are it's not just that you look different, it's that there are now things attached to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Poor
Oh,
kitty.
God, I haven't thought about that in ages. Too funny. That is too funny.
All right, I think
That
I'm
little
at the
green.
point where I'm like, if I do any more, it's not dry
Anymore, you're not
brushing,
gonna,
it's just
yeah.
brushing.
So then you stop.
Yeah.
Then
Yep.
you stop. And then I'm going to take a little bit of. Do I want to do that? I was debating it. No, I like this. I like this how it's looking right now. I was debating if I want to do a little bit more with it, but I'm kind of liking the look of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Let's not play around and oopsie daisy it.
We can always go back if you change your mind.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like the way the goblin green showed up.
Yeah.
Worked out well.
All right, what's next?
That's a very good question. I think now what we're going to move on to is yeah, that's right, mushrooms. So we're going to paint
Oh,
the
yeah.
mushrooms. Just debating. Do we want to do stems first or caps first? Probably caps. She says with a question. Take a look at this mini again.
I'm trying to think my instinct is to go the caps and then the stems.
That's what I'm
because my
thinking,
instinct
too.
is that I'm
There's
going
a
to
lot of
paint
these.
over the stems with the caps if I'm not careful. So
yeah, let's do the caps first then. So you're going to want a detail brush, and you're also going to want orange brown from the little collection of pots.
All right, here we go again. There we go. It's just become a ritual now. It's just part of the process of opening up the pots.
Just very carefully. Wince and open.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Gosh.
These have such tiny little stems.
They do. And I debated making these a cheerful, like cutesy red, but I'm like, for a treant like this.
Yeah.
I wanted to go more for like the orangey tones. I thought that would be a better kind of nod towards, is this dangerous, poisonous type thing? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
So this is for all the caps for all the mushrooms?
All the caps on all the mushrooms.
All right. And now the fun begins. Am I going to find all the mushrooms?
Very carefully. Luckily, they are mostly, if not all, residing on the legs. So
yeah,
focus on the legs. It's leg day today. Didn't know you're getting a workout at the same time, huh?
Sometimes when I'm standing at my desk, I do feel a little bit like I'm getting a workout.
Well, that's not a bad thing.
I like being able to move around enough that I don't mind every once in a while when I'm done at work and I go into the living room and go to sit down. I'm like,
Right? Yeah. That that is a valid emotion. I feel you on that one.
okay, I think you're a mushroom, and so
Mushroom?
I've painted you.
Mushroom.
You are not a mushroom. You are just part of the foot. You are a mushroom.
Mushroom or foot? Mushroom or toe?
that's that's the new.
That's relevant.
It's not. Is it an elbow? It's is it a mushroom or is it a toe?
I mean, between the comic that I just put out that Luke created for this week and joking
I
around
saw
about
that
the
Art and Audio had responded with their art.
no mushrooms or the no toes rather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
I was joking with Dee. She goes, no toes. I'm like, what about mushroom toes? Because there are finger mushrooms in Koshmar that come out of the ground and like grab things. So,
Mhm.
oh yes, feeling the need to sing about badgers. Can't imagine why. Mushroom, 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 mushroom.
Also, G Nemesis 13 in chat. It's foot fungus. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
but
I'm here for it. Yes.
I didn't even put two and two together on that one.
Yeah. That's when
Amazing.
it's a pun, but it kind of transcends puns into just being awesome.
Do
Okay.
like
I
if you're gonna
think
go with a pun, that's a good pun.
and not
See.
just a pun, but true. All right. I think I got
Mm-hmm.
all the ones on that leg.
It's
I think I
funny because
started
it's
with the
true.
leg that had fewer.
You're already
That
done.
wasn't
Dang.
no, 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 no. I'm not done.
Oh.
So when the Treant is facing me, the leg that's it's the leg to the right, the one that's
Mm-hmm.
behind it, I
Yeah.
think only has a couple mushrooms.
No, it has a few on it.
I see one,
There's
two,
mushrooms on
three.
the inner ankle area. There's two
Yeah,
there. And then
yep,
you
I got those
have
two.
the two in the front. One, two right here. Actually, one, two, three. One, two, three. It's a
Yep,
tiny little
I got
cap one.
those.
And then you have
Yeah.
one, two, three over here. They look more like steps.
See, those were the ones that I was looking at. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't think those are mushrooms. I think that's a foot part, but you know what? If they're mushrooms,
Hey,
I will make them look like mushrooms.
mushroom it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I took a
Plus, it
look and
brings that much more color.
that's true. And also it'll balance it out a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more because I was looking at the other leg and I'm like, wow, that other leg has a ton of mushrooms.
Yeah.
What's going on with that leg?
It's the one it favors. It doesn't
All
need it as
right.
much. So the mushrooms have time to grow.
I think. Yeah, I'm glad that we left the stems for later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely drawing all over the stems, as it were.
Yeah.
Oh, I should. Oh, everyone's saying badger in chat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Caleb Marin is talking about I'm so ready for Halloween. I'm so done with summer. That has become a prevailing
Yes.
thing on my Twitter timeline. I'm not against it because I'm also ready for summer to end, but I find it interesting how many people all at once were just like, "All right, summer's over. I know it's August, but it's done.
I mean,
All
if we're
done."
gonna have holiday creep already preceding Thanksgiving with decor and whatnot in the stores, I think it's perfectly valid to have October-y decorations appearing mid-August. And people, getting on with their Halloween vibes. Why not?
I that is one thing I have changed my mind about since the pandemic began. Uh, because if you had asked me multiple years ago about the holiday creep, I
Mm-hmm.
would have had a much stronger opinion of I hate it. I'm not, get me done with one holiday at a time. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want Christmas stuff in October. I don't want, let each holiday have a chance to breathe.
Uh-huh.
And then what the last couple of years have taught me is like, you know what? People are getting joy off of it and that's fine.
Yeah.
And why should I care? Why should I care if they're getting joy off of it? I can ignore it in the stores if I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to participate yet.
True.
So yeah, I have definitely changed and grown in my opinion because I did like to think for a while that I'm one of those, hey, you do you. But for whatever reason, the holidays, probably because I spend a lot of time when I am when I was a professional musician, when there
True.
were gigs, doing a lot of holiday gigs. So I would get very, very tired,
Mm-hmm.
especially of Christmas. So the sooner Christmas started, the sooner I had to play 3 billion Messiahs and 4
Oh.
billion Nutcrackers and all of that. But you know what? If it was making people happy to have their
Mm,
decorations up earlier and to get access to Halloween candy and, you know, be planning, we're
fair.
close enough to the Canadian border that people will be planning on both Thanksgivings.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
You get a dope, yeah. You get two of them.
A little bit, a little bit. You have to remember, like in America, we
Yeah,
don't get the Canadian Thanksgiving off,
I
and that's on a
know.
Monday.
Yeah.
So it gets it gets interesting for sure. Every year, Luke and I have to decide whose Thanksgiving are we celebrating and why.
Aw.
Which one are we going for? Because I mean, it's a lot of turkey.
Well, does it have to be turkey for each one? Like one gets the
It
ham and one gets the turkey? Or not even the ham, not the ham.
I mean, there could be a ham. Luke can have a ham if he wants.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know.
It's just
I'm not against both Thanksgivings, us doing
mm-hmm.
something different, but I do feel like turkey is one of the few requirements. It doesn't have to be a full turkey. There's only
Mm-hmm.
the two of us, so we have definitely gone and just gotten turkey breasts.
Oh, I totally
Just
just do turkey breast, yeah.
yeah.
It's a lot less waste. Lot less waste for
Mhm.
my household because not many dark meat fans. So I just get a good sized turkey breast and cook that up. And that will get eaten up within a week.
Yeah.
So I've just learned get that instead as opposed to trying to do a whole dang turkey.
Whereas I am a fan of dark meat, and so we do have and Luke likes it. So like we could do a lot of dark meat, but there
Hmm.
is only the two of us. And so
Yeah.
even the smallest of turkeys would just
Mm,
go to waste.
yeah, that's fair.
So we'd get one turkey in October for Canadian Thanksgiving, and we'd still be gnawing on that thing by the time American Thanksgiving came
Mm-hmm.
around if we weren't careful.
Yeah. I saw that, but the cats would like turkey. They probably would love the turkey, but I cook it with onions, and onions are not good for cats.
Hmm.
Can make them sick. So not the best meal to offer them.
No. Okay. This one in
Oh,
between
mushroom
these
here.
couple that are close to being in between the legs are a little more of a challenge to get at.
Yeah, there's some interesting ones that are just sort of hiding almost.
They do pop out very nicely though.
Yeah, that's just it. That's why I wanted to go with the orange top for the cap
Yeah.
to really
If
just
this
kind
was
of
a
give it a.
happy treant, if this was like a fey
I think
treant
it'd be cute to
or
do like the whole like red caps with little white dots
yeah.
and very fairy circle friendly
Yeah, absolutely.
mushrooms.
In a different universe when
Yes.
Voraneka
In
uh
Kashmir before it was a domain, a dread
there you go.
domain, it would have had those cute little mushroom caps with the red and the little
Aw.
dots.
They would have looked more like our myconids than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yes, a friend of the Myconids.
Rough Rider 91 asks, Lauren, are you gonna finish last week's stand-in mini like this one or give it some
Question.
variants so they don't match? I am actually unsure. So
It's a
for
good
those that
question though.
weren't here last week, um I had a problem in where I didn't have my treant yet. And so I had another mini that was a tree-ish creature that I was working on. And
Mm-hmm.
then I got this one over the weekend and caught up. I watched our episode and I caught up.
Ooh.
I know, right? Um, as for the other one, I don't know yet. It's a different enough creature that I might do something different with. Uh, but I don't
That's
know.
fair.
I still have to figure that out.
Right, I think I got. Ooh, I think I got all the mushrooms.
Think
It's
I
looking
got
like
them all
it.
too.
Mushroom, mushroom.
Badger, 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 badger.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
All right, what's next?
Next, we're gonna do the stems. So for that, we're gonna go back to cork brown
Okay.
and do that for the stems.
Cork brown.
Where did I put my cork?
Ah,
There's my cork brown. Thank you, Devil Cran. It's a snake! A snake!
All right, now is the time with the stems and where we're gonna need
Yes.
the most detailish of brushes.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go in and get the stems.
Some of them are definitely harder to find than others.
Yeah. I'm actually finding doing almost a little stippling action is helping.
Hmm.
For like the more narrow spots. So taking the tip of the brush and sort of just dotting in the paint where you want it.
The lurking writer wants to know, if it's not already answered, how do treants become awakened? Is the answer a druid did it? Probably not, but it's a tradition to say things like this at this point.
Mm.
There's a bunch of different ways. There are spells that can awaken plants and animals. Treants in specific, I think
I'd have to look that up again.
I want to say that there's specific groves that basically are infused with enough magic, like especially in fey crossover areas. I think it's just a thing that can happen as well naturally. Yes, a druid can do it, but I do also believe that the awaken spell is available to other classes as well. So, but yeah, I'd have to look it up and see for sure. And at the moment, I've got a stem in my hand. At the moment, I'm stemming it up.
At the moment, we're focusing on the treant's colors as opposed to its creation.
Yeah. I mean, in this case, I would assume it was created by Voraneka.
Yeah, definitely Voraneka's little minion. Not little. So, good grief.
It could have started off as little. It didn't have to start off as a big
little sapling. I raised him from when he was a little sapling, you know.
Oh.
He was quite small and rather stubborn. But that's why I liked him.
Yeah.
He wasn't like the other treants, all tra la la, happy sing song dancing with the campestry. Okay, I think I got all stems in that round.
I don't imagine there are many of anything tra la la happy in Voraneka's in Koshmar.
Not in the Dread Domain form, heck no.
No.
I mean, well, no, there's still things that come across as looking as pleasant. You just gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Is the way it works out in Koshmar there?
I mean, in fairness, you can say that about nature in general.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's just it, yeah.
I think Koshmar is just more extreme with that danger, maybe?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I'm going to take a second because I've just finished those stems. Let's see.
Looking up the treant?
Yeah.
How do treant? How do treant?
How do treant do? Treants are awakened trees. Well, that's helpful. That dwell in ancient forests. Although treants prefer to while away their days, months, and years in quiet contemplation, they fiercely protect their woodland demesnes from outside threats. A tree destined to become a treant meditates through a long cycle of seasons, living normally for decades or centuries before realizing its potential. So treants self-actualize.
Ooh, I like this.
Trees that awaken do so only under special circumstances and in places steeped with nature's magic. Treants and powerful druids can sense when a tree has a spark of potential, and they protect such trees in secret groves as they draw near the moment of their awakening. During the long process of awakening, a tree acquires a face-like feature, like in its bark, a division of the lower trunk in its legs, and long branches bending downward to serve as arms. When it's ready, the tree pulls its legs free from the clutching earth and joins its fellows in protecting its woodland home. Yeah, basically.
Checks out.
They self-actualize.
Cool.
That's kind of cool. But I was right about the part in where it's a place suffused with magic. It's not just any forest. You gotta
It's not like you can just go to the 100-acre wood and find a treant.
Yeah. This is not the trees that are hanging around in Waterdeep. You got to go find special groves.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not that druids make treants, it's that druids
They can-
protect them and know where they
Yes.
are. Or
There
can
we
protect
go.
them, I should say.
Yeah. I like it.
The
I
more
like
you
it.
know
Right?
about treants.
And normally I do look up what goes into the monsters that we paint, but it's been a little busy.
Well, and not only that, we're doing this very, very different type of treant.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been talking a little bit more about Kashmar and Voraneka than we have technically about the
Yes, with
treant
the treant.
themselves. So
Yeah.
there you go. Now we got a
Works.
basis. So
Yeah.
this treant in Kashmar
Mm-hmm.
basically self-actualized in a creepy way.
Yeah, probably when Kashmar became Nika.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a wake-up call.
That, I mean, literally, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I
Like,
think.
hey.
Nope.
I'm being very fussy about these stems.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying not to do too much. Because I don't want these legs to turn into
Right.
pinkish legs.
Right. Yeah, no.
I think I got them all. I think.
I think I
I'm
can
going to
do
set it down
everything.
for a second, and then I'm going to look back in a moment and have found the ones that I've missed. The Lurking Writer asks, V, last time you said your treant would be decaying. Are you going to showcase this purely through paint choices, or will you be customizing the mini with green stuff?
I'm going to be putting in the Spanish moss, which tends to find itself on trees that are less healthy and what have you. So I'm going to do that through the Spanish moss draping and dragging along its branches. But we're going to do that a little bit later. We got to get all the painting elements done before we start doing that, because once we start doing that, that becomes more of a once you put it on, don't touch it situation.
Yeah.
So
you got to do the base before you can do all the frilly stuff.
Exactly. All right, I think I have this leg done. Move on to the other one. One and the other one.
I see people talking about both Norse mythology and German mythology, and let us remember D&D over all of the years and over all of the different versions have taken ideas from everywhere, including mythologies from a lot of different cultures. So there's a lot of crossover, and sometimes it's hard to look at a thing and be like, yes, Tolkien. It's like, well,
not exactly.
But this, if you look at this thing, it's actually more this. So,
and quite frankly, all of those authors, they tapped into those old folklore and mythologies and adapted and morphed them into their own internal lore and mythologies for their stories. I mean, that's just the nature of the game with fiction writing. And yes, I'd be the teacher who'd give that assignment. Okay, so you read this story and it has a lot of folklore in it. Now find the origin. Now and that's also where you came from.
Yeah, and that's also where you find a lot of mythologies and a lot of civilizations that had parallel myths about the same thing, because the idea of the woods are dangerous, don't go in them is kind of a universal thing for much of human history. And so whether or not you were told don't go in the woods because there's a witch in there, don't go in the woods because you'll get taken to the fae, don't, whatever the reason, the impetus for people to scare their kids into not going into the forest was there across humankind. So that's also kind of fun to wonder about, okay, why did so many cultures come up with a myth about trees coming alive? And maybe it was part of that. Maybe it's also the whole thing. When I was reading about the treant in the stat block, and it talked about one of the last things it does is it grows a face and grows legs and arms. And that's also a thing that trees do is we anthropomorphize
Mm-hmm.
faces into trees. And you just kind of see that also across civilizations. People see a face in a tree and that tree becomes something special.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones being
Yep.
a more modern myth example of that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are a lot of myths that have flood stories in them
Mm.
because of there. At one point, way back in the way back days, there was flooding that happened in the world, and a lot of cultures tapped into that and pulled it into their lore.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of parallels that happen, and it's fascinating to connect and follow and see the similarities, the differences, and sort of create hypotheses about why and the hows and all of that. But
Yeah.
that's a term paper I can write later.
That's a term paper that the paint and slay community is writing together.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Right,
I
I'm
think
almost done.
Yeah, I think one of the more interesting ones that I read was the idea that the reason dragons are in so many different mythologies across the world is because there was a good chance that uh, dinosaur bones were the inspiration for dragons,
Mm-hmm.
and there are dinosaur bones all over the place.
Yeah.
So, why are there dragon myths in China and also in Europe and also here? Well, there were
Mm-hmm.
dinosaurs everywhere. When you don't know what a T-Rex is and you pull out that skeleton or just the head,
Right?
I mean that's got to be a moment.
Well, that's the whole thing with Cyclops. Woolly mammoth heads. People think that perhaps they saw woolly mammoth heads and thought Cyclops were, these massive, giant humanoid creatures with one eye in the center because the center bit of a skull, no woolly mammoth was where the trunk was. So
Hmm.
it's just really fascinating things like that. So yeah, I love stuff like that. Can you tell?
Yeah. Um Oh, and we've jumped over. So, to remind everybody, we
Ooh,
will take questions not just about painting and not just about mythology and the term paper that we're apparently writing, the
yeah.
book that apparently we're starting a book club and we're all going to read about modern mythologies.
Woo.
But we will take Idle Champions questions as well, like Caliph Marin, who says, I have no one to swap for Minsk and only
Ooh.
one for Brunner, but I have enough pieces for a time gate. What would your opinion be on who I should get another champ for? Um, so the first thing I would say is before you spend pieces of your let me try that sentence again. Before you spend
Yours.
time gate pieces, there is an event going on right now where you can get 3 different champions, and Voraneka is in slot 1. So at least spend a little bit of time getting Voraneka in slot 1. And then there's also Omen and Eliwick, I think is a third. But yeah, I would take a moment and unlock those 3 in the event, even if all you do is unlock them and get a couple chests.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they've already got Nika already. Perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for slot 1 stuff, you should get Orkira.
Kira. Ta-da.
Hi. I'm just gonna say Orkira. I will get back to that question, but I have a feeling we're moving on to something else. So let's move on to something else.
Well, no, I was gonna say basically, when people log in now, we'll both be like, well, we're number one. Literally.
What would you like? What do you need? Get one of us. Get one of us.
One of each for number one.
Exactly. Prudence. That's right. Prudence
Prudence
is
is
the
also a good
third.
one. Yeah.
Um,
Hello, pretty girl. Just to have in general, not saying for slot 1.
yeah,
Okay,
but
so
Orkira for slot 1,
yeah,
that's an easy one. I'd have to think
yeah.
for a second about Minsk's slot, but I
I
can
would
think
have
about
to
that
look.
while what are we opening up now? I see you struggling with it. Oh dear.
No, so I'm gonna open up the pale sand. Pale
Mm,
sand. And
awesome.
we're gonna dry brush that onto the mushrooms. So very lightly with your dry brush those mushrooms. Just to kind
Okay.
of bring the details back out because we flattened the texture a little bit by painting them. Now you want to brush this over and really focus on the edge of the mushrooms to bring that out again.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to go in for some pale sand. Is this the one that has more color than my own skin does? Yes, this is the one that actually has more color than my own skin does, and everyone laughs about it. Like, this is the one that actually shows up if I put it on my skin. All right, so I'm gonna go
This
in.
Now, let me watch this for a second because I'm curious. Yeah, so you're really just doing the edge, so
Mm-hmm.
not the top, just kind of around the.
Yeah, focusing on the edge and the sides of the stem. Just very lightly.
Okay.
Yes, you're cute and adorable, but I can't pet you right now, girly.
But that's why I'm being cute and adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And to go back to that question, I've got to remember who else is in Mince's slot. Mince's slot. I'm trying to remember. People at home, help! Who else is in Mince's slot?
I beg your pardon.
So I can give an opinion because I am.
Don't step on that.
I mean, slot 1 is easy, but I think he's slot 7.
I honestly do not recall off the top of my head. I've been looking at all the champion names today for reasons, but
yeah,
do I remember what slot they're in? Heck no.
I have. Yep. I can picture it in my head, but I'm bad about the counting.
Yeah.
So.
Hello, little face.
Come over to the chat.
Hello,
Gosrick is.
Girl.
Oh yeah. Okay. Gosrick, Freely, and Jim. Farida and Gosrick. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely agree with at least Farida and Gosrick. Both of those are excellent champions. Farida is one of my top DPS. And Gosrick not only is a really good support, but with all the rivals of Waterdeep that have come out, that's a really good affiliation. And his armor ablation in the cold areas is really, really good.
Yeah.
So I would definitely, as a support, I'd pick up Gosrick for sure.
She's self-scritching on the Treant right now. I was just painting all this and she's like, rub my chin, I'm good.
I think I also saw Freely in there a little bit. Also, absolutely get Freely. I mean, the Heroes of the Plains are just awesome.
Yeah.
And I am not biased in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all. Although now I have a conspiracy theory because it's not just you and I who have champions in the same slot so they can't play together, but B, Dave, and Aaron also have champions in the same slot so they can't play together.
That's true. That is. And so here's the thing. It could be a conspiracy. In my mind, I think it's just that we end up working with a lot of content creators and trying to figure out where to put a champion. Like I've seen the work that goes into where to put a champion because there are a lot of things to consider. It's a lot. And so that's why every once in a while when someone's just like, but maybe we can move this champion over there. And I'm like, oh,
not really.
Oh, my friend.
It's not a click and go type of thing. It's there's a lot. And this is Rory, for those who are new and they haven't met her before. This is Rory. And yes, she has her little bow on, her little pineapple bow. Aww. She wears it every day. Every day she's got her bow tie on. You can thank Dr. B for that one. He made bow ties cool. I was like, my cats are gonna wear bow ties.
I shouldn't be surprised. I just saw Msta said the Treant is officially booped. There you go. Cat needed to come over and officially boop a Treant.
There we go. It's part of the family. But you can see the difference right here between the mushrooms without the dry brushing and the mushrooms with the dry brushing now.
Yeah, especially the little ones.
Yeah, it really helps them pop back out by doing that.
I've also had to move on to paper towel number 2.
Fair. Where are we going? I beg pardon.
Hi, kitty.
Yes, you are the star of the show today.
I mean, you say that like they aren't the star of the show every day.
Well, for this one, she does think she is. It's not wrong.
Yeah. Rough Rider 91 asks, woolly mammoth on the rolling table for sketching hour.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Interesting.
It is a creature in the DMG.
It is.
And to be honest, that's what I need more of. There are plenty of cute animals. We've got all the cute animals that we need. what we're starting to run low on are suggestions for creatures from the DMG. And
There you go.
I've been avoiding the beasts that also are real life animals for reasons of not doubling up on cute animals. But a woolly mammoth, I think in this
that could
case
work.
I think that's a very D&D creature to talk about because it's a very popular wild shape.
Yeah, that's just it. Like, it
Because,
definitely makes appearances in a lot of things.
yeah. Oh, yeah. When you can wild shape into something that has 3 billion hit points.
Right? And those freaking tusks, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think I've also reached the point here with these and where if I
Yeah.
do any more, I'm just brushing, not dry brushing.
Yep. I'm happy with how these mushrooms came out too. All right, very cool. So I'm gonna. You are too much, young lady. She's like, and now I slip.
There you go.
You gonna say hi? Say hello to the world, girly.
Hi,
Say I'm
kitty.
pretty.
For those of you who are just joining us, V has painted an incredibly realistic cat. Just to
the
show.
eyes were the hardest part, I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
Getting those details.
It was amazing to watch. I mean, you think nothing's happening because of all the dry brushing, and suddenly there's a cat.
Suddenly there's a cat. It just appears.
Yeah. If you too would like to learn all of the secrets about being able to paint a cat in real life, go ahead and join us for Paint and Slay every single week on Fridays. Although, should we talk about the next 2 weeks?
Oh, yes. Yes, let's talk about the next 2 weeks because the next 2 weeks we are going to technically be, Lauren and I, not on camera live, but we are going to have fun and showcase our first 2 episodes, which were the Myconids. And I'm actually quite happy we're moving from the Treant to the Myconids. You can get your whole woodland fix for the month of August in right there for you. But they're 2 really great episodes because a lot of it is beginner tips and tricks and getting to know all the different techniques you see us put to use every single time we do Paint and Slay. So I highly recommend, hi honey, that you check that one out for sure.
Yeah, we're going to be taking a slight live break, but only for 2 weeks. And I will be hanging out in chat because I'll be playing those episodes on Twitch. So hanging out and chatting with chat.
Yeah.
So come on by for the Myconid for the next couple of weeks. Also, thank you, Kevin Bulware, for your subscription. Enjoy your emotes.
Yes.
All right. What's next besides playing with the kitty?
Trying to get the kitty to give me some table space. All right, just do that. Just do this, okay? There we go.
Be long cat for a while.
Thank you, Rorabelle. Yeah. So we're gonna move on to doing the ground.
Okay.
So we're gonna paint the ground, and this is where you're gonna want to take your number 2 or number 3 brush because we're gonna go back into doing base colors again.
All right.
Because with this, we already did like the black on it. But any color you see floating around on this is left over from when we were doing dry brushing detail on the Treant itself. So now we're actually going to devote some time to the base. So you want to go to chocolate brown, and honey, you got to move. Come on.
Sorry, kitty. Sorry. Chocolate brown.
Come here. It's like threading the needle. Here we go. Here she is. Take a look. Hello. Now goodbye.
You're adorable. Time to go away.
You're adorable, but you're in the way. So chocolate brown, and then you're just going to paint the base itself.
Oh, okay.
So just the base, so around the roots of the tree, or the feet. Feet roots? What am I going to call that?
The unawakened roots, I guess?
Yeah. So basically the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go in and paint that brown. Not black, but brown. So I can't do my favorite little song.
We did it last week, though.
Yeah,
so
I know. Still not the same.
It's not, but you know what? Sometimes it's good to have a little break on the painted book.
Never.
I might actually have to water this down a little bit.
Oh, is it
keep
thick
forgetting?
For you? Yeah. If it's coming out
these
thick,
pots. Yeah. I don't know. I'll see if I might just wet the brush and then use that a little bit because this is actually coming out a little bit the thickness of chocolate.
Oh yeah, then no, you don't want to be that thick. Because I'm actually doing a very thin coat so you can actually see some of that black still playing through.
Yeah.
So if it's coming out thick, you want to thin it out. And I need to let a cat out because now she's mad that I moved her. I'll be right back.
Meanwhile, chat, hi, how you doing?
Come
Oh, I see that there's Terry Pratchett quotes happening in chat somewhere. Kelly the opera geek is very happy,
Oh,
and also
yes.
is wondering she's perked up
There's a
somewhere. It's like
bat signal.
someone has made a
Someone
Terry
has
Pratchett joke.
Pratchetted.
Someone has Pratchetted.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely needed to
Yeah.
water this down a bit. Although now I want chocolate.
You know, that's the danger of using some paints. I will say, if you get
Yeah.
plaid craft paints, be careful because so many of their paint colors are food based. There were streams I used to do on my channel where I'd be painting something, and it's things like kiwi lime, vanilla bean, and da da da. By the time you're done, like, I just want to raid a bakery. Just want to raid a
Yeah.
bakery. Pardon me while I go eat a bunch of treats.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That happens in D&D a lot too, you know, because sometimes wish fulfillment is your character being able to eat cheese.
Oh. I can relate to that.
Yep, I might not be speaking from experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I definitely get it. And since we were talking about all of the holiday spillover that has happened, having all of the not all, having a lot of the Halloween candy already out and available is a temptation for sure. Yeah, I mean, I need to get my candy corn fix.
Who was it that shared that the fall harvest candy corn mix stuff is out?
Is that the I don't, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that fall harvest is so
Yeah, it was
good.
Zero and
Those
Catherine.
mellow
They were going on
creams.
about. I'm like, why did you let me know these are out? I'm trying to be good.
I know.
I love that mix.
So good. Yeah, the mellow creams are my favorite.
Yeah.
If I could buy just a bunch of those, which I know you can, and I try not to.
Mm-hmm.
I try to avoid that because, hey, you know,
just because you can doesn't mean you should.
yeah, you know, sometimes it's just easier to avoid than it is
Yeah.
to buy and try to convince my body to not eat the entire bag all at once.
Right.
Yeah. Although,
Although.
to bring it kind of back to D&D, I did see they had a whole bunch of nerds in my grocery store, and I thought I saw that they did still have some of the D&D ones, even though I think they stopped making those.
Yeah, that was a limited run for sure.
So I think these are probably some of the last.
Yeah.
So I might have to pick a couple of those up. I did kind of OD on nerds when the nerds came out, when the D&D nerds happened, but those are good.
It was just fun too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also delicious. Also, I mean, they're just sugar. They're just colored sugar.
That's all it is. Colored flavored sugar.
That's all you need.
And yet. Why?
All right.
Why so good?
I'm trying to just get around the edge here.
That's fair. I am almost done.
Yeah, me too. I should probably check on questions and stop thinking about candy corn.
Candy.
Oh, the question just came in from Devil Crayon, which I think you've probably heard our answer. Candy corn, yay or nay? Yes.
Yeah.
That is one of the joys about Halloween, is the variety of candy that is out there.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, there is the cliche and the classic stuff that happens every single year, like candy corn, but just it's an opportunity for all of us to indulge in something. Like, even if you're not a fan of candy, there are things that are part of that holiday, you know, candied apples and all sorts of sweet stuff.
Yeah.
Chances are there's something you can enjoy. So that's kind of what I love about that holiday.
Everyone.
Yeah. Well, you know, pumpkin spice. I think that's the reason that everybody is thinking about Halloween, is I think
fair.
The pumpkin spice has come out.
Yeah, the spice must flow.
Spice is flowing.
It must.
Okay.
All right.
I think
now,
I'm done.
Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do is give this a quick little minute to dry a touch.
Okay.
Because we're going to go in with first the dark green. And then I just got majorly distracted by that bit of information from Rovina.
I saw that too. I saw
like,
that too.
What?
For those of you playing the home game,
What?
25-pound bag of Reese's Pieces for $129.88. First off, that's a lot of Reese's Pieces. Second
That
off,
is.
are you're ET? You're actually ET. I bet you're actually ET. Am I making a joke that nobody gets anymore? Wow.
Maybe.
Okay.
So we're gonna go for dark green.
Okay.
And do a little bit of dry brushing with dark green, and then we're gonna go back in with the goblin green, just to kind of give this a mossy look. And then we'll do one more round after those two greens. So we're starting with some greens, which are gonna look bright and cheerful for a hot minute. But then we're gonna change it up.
And we're still working on the base?
Yep, we're all about the base right now.
Okay. Mine is still kind of drying.
Okay. I have a couple spots that are already dry because it's hot here today.
I got a couple spots. And so you said dry brushing?
Yep. And it can be patchy. It doesn't have to be all over perfect.
All right. Yeah, I'm starting to look for places that are dry.
Yeah.
I think probably because I had to take a moment and thin down my paint, so it's taking a little bit longer to dry.
Yep.
But
That
that's
is
okay.
completely fair.
Rovina says, I blame Spielberg for my addiction. I mean, you're not wrong. Although if I'm going to go for Reese's, I am more of the peanut butter cup person.
That's fair.
But Reese's Pieces are real good.
I like them on ice cream.
Ooh.
They're so good on ice cream. If you eat like just a good vanilla ice cream, it's a lovely little treat.
That was not fully dry.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I just had to.
Oh dear.
Not a big deal. I just had to rewash the brush because I'm like, oh, it came away brown. Wait a second.
That's not
That's not how that's supposed to work.
That is not of how this is supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Oh, we got a story from Gray L Shaped. Many years ago, my boss's assistant would put a big bowl of M&Ms on the table for staff meetings. A colleague pushed the bowl away. Then our boss said we had to prioritize people for layoffs. Oof. My colleague said, and spent most of the meeting eating M&Ms. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at that point, yeah.
Oh boy.
You just do it, right?
It is at that point a thing.
Yeah. I do always have to be careful about bringing food into my office. Because if I can manage to just bring the portion into my office and not like, here's an entire bag of Reese's Pieces, but here's a cup or, a handful. I do a lot better at portion control.
Fair. Totally fair. Okay, so that takes care of the green area for me, or using the dark green, I should say.
I've got a little bit more to go. The middle part finally dried enough that I feel.
Where you can do it. Yeah. I'm going to switch over to the goblin green and do another light round of dry brushing with that. And then we'll jump into doing some really long name again one.
Whatever that really long name one is.
Camo
beige.
You
know what we're talking about.
German camouflage beige World War II.
That thing.
That one.
That one.
I just want to call it World War II beige.
That's one of those moments where someone was naming a paint color and either was just fed up, was just fed up at coming up at new names, or was having an interesting day and decided to do something fun.
Or they just took it very literally because it was for their model line as opposed to their game line. And like, oh, well, these are people painting, World War II vehicles. So this is literally the beige that they used.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to be pedantic about your colors, right? I guess this is the World War II beige.
Okay, so I'm switching over to goblin green now.
Goblin green. All right.
And just lightly going over the surface. Now we're going to get kind of more like this almost poisony like green look. Because of that goblin on top of the dark green.
Yeah. All right. Rough Rider 91 says, does Lauren need a throne wish list just for candy on it? Oh no.
Dangerous.
Oh no. That's super dangerous. That's very kind of you to offer. I mean, the only time that I start looking for help with candy is finding some of those weird candies.
Oh, the
like
novelty ones?
yeah, that sometimes you can only find in certain areas or at certain
Yeah.
times, and especially things like candy corn, and where all of a sudden it'll be, here's the 12 different flavors that you can get of candy corn this year, that are the special novelty ones, but you can only find them in certain places. And it's like, well,
Yep.
but
I want to try them all.
I
They're
want a
my
candy corn
Pokemon.
yeah, I want to catch them all. It's like we need a candy corn exchange or something. All right, I'll buy the turkey dinner.
That'd be fun.
I'll buy a couple boxes of or bags of the turkey dinner, and you buy a little bit of that of the other kind.
Totally here for that idea. Are you kidding me?
I haven't heard what the new candy corn weird flavors are yet.
I haven't either.
I don't know if they've announced or if I just haven't been looking in the right place.
Didn't it come out like September-ish last year? I want to say like mid-September.
I don't know. Time is a flat circle.
He's a blob. At this point, it's just a blob. The blob that is team.
But no, I appreciate the offer. I appreciate the suggestion, but yeah, unless you're going to help me find something rare, and in which case I don't need a throne wish list for it. There are plenty more things that deserve charity than my candy obsessions. Get in there.
All right, so then I'm going to flip over to World War II beige. I'm just what I'm going to call it. And very lightly dry brush that on the upper areas of the ground, just to kind of give it a little bit of a highlight. Nothing too heavy-handed. She says as she overdips
the pale
into the paint.
Sand. All right, there we go. There's the thing. There's the word.
Just very lightly doing it.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think I haven't gone as dark as you have on the base, but that's changing now with the beige. And it's kind of fun, the difference that I'm seeing in the highlights.
Yeah. Amps it up just a little bit.
There we go. Oh yeah, and I should probably reiterate, since it's been a little while, we've got some people coming in from the game. Hi and welcome. Welcome to Paint and Slay, where we are finishing up our treants. Working on the base right now. If you do have any questions about painting or about Idle Champions or about Voraneka, you can go ahead and put those in chat. And our two awesome moderators, Martin and Jordan, will be grabbing those and putting those in a place where I can see them when I'm not busy dry brushing.
There we go.
Because sometimes I'm too busy dry brushing and I don't catch what's going on in chat. So
and that's fair. I mean, it is something that involves focus.
Yeah.
So that is basically where I'm at with the base now. Now keep in mind, we are going to be doing a wash on this, so it's not going to be as vibrant. We are going to get that brown tone put on top of this. This is going to have more like a poisonous kind of green look to it in the long run. But that takes care of the base for us. And let me see. Do we have anything else going with the... Oh no, we need to glue. That's what the stone is. Like the stone is getting glued today. That's what's happening with that one. Okay, so we do want to let this dry a little bit because I think we are at the point of washing, which we want to do before we start getting into prepping the cotton balls to become Spanish moss.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Let this dry. So we're going to use Agrax Earthshade which is from the Citadel line of paints. I am a big fan of all things Citadel washes. They're my favorite kind of wash. However, if you do not have Citadel washes at home, or any washes to speak of whatsoever, you can very easily just take a dark brown paint and thin it out with clean water until it is like a bone, not a bone broth. Well, yeah, kind of like a bone broth consistency. And then you can use that for washing your miniatures. And what washes do is they glaze over the entire miniature, but fall into the recesses of the miniature sculpts and really heighten the depth of the miniatures and help enhance the details as a result.
It's magic.
It's a beautiful thing. So right now I am swirling mine. Don't shake. Swirl, don't shake. Because every so often the pigments will collect on the bottom. So I'm just, wee.
Yeah, I should probably check that. Yeah, I'm just swirling for fun.
Yep.
All right. And so this is going over everything?
All of it. But start at the top and then work your way to the base because you just did your base. You want to give that a little bit of time to dry, just a touch more if you want. I'm using a nice big old beat up fluffy brush. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to show you right here. You can see how it falls into the details of the top of the head and enhances those grooves even more.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to wash because it's got so many nooks and crannies. And yeah, I am a fan of wash. I think it's fun, but this one might be a little more of a, not delicate, but this is not going to be as much of a swath as I'm used to.
Section it off. So I am focusing on branches and working down until my brush gets dry, and then shifting over to the next branch with a fresh coat of wash to continue the wash down. Is sort of the approach method I am taking here right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although the other nice thing about a wash is it's very apparent where you haven't used it, at least in my mind. Yeah. So if I miss a branch, it's just like, oh, nope, I haven't done that branch yet. I can tell.
Yep, exactly. It does help.
But yeah, the washing is definitely my favorite part.
Look what I did. Look what I did. You can see the difference already.
Oh, yeah. All right, and I will stop for a second and check chat because I know we've been getting more questions in, but V said the magic word, which is it's wash time.
And Lauren just got yay!
Yep. I mean, that was the first magic moment I had when painting minis, was when the guy who was helping me out with my first way back in 4th edition, my first PC that I was making, and then he was like, all right, no, this is looking good. Now just grab this wash and put it everywhere. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, wow. Where did all these details come from? Yep. What did I do? How did I do this?
I did a thing.
Yeah. It's just magic. And also I just got paint from the base all over my fingers, and that's
Oops.
That's all right. I'm just going to finish this hand, and then I'm going to look over at chat. Sorry, chat.
We're getting there.
The wash has taken precedence. Get that knobby elbow. All right. I love it. Okay. Ugh. I'm going to have to wash my hands. Oh, Conradus has a question about Voraneka that so now that we're going to get a couple more questions for Voraneka, I will once again remind everybody that because Black Die Society is still an ongoing show, that V reserves the right to say you'll just have to watch. That being said, Conradus81 asks, is Voraneka dead or what? I'm trying to figure out how many times she's died actually.
Voraneka is a Dark Lord, essentially. She's got a little bit of ghosty in her, but she has been brought back to fill the seat of a Dark Lord. I'm gonna leave it at that.
There you go. Want to know more? Watch the show.
Exactly.
It is an excellent show. Although I will specify, it is a horror show. It does have
Yeah.
dark themes.
Yeah.
So if that's not your jam, that's totally understandable.
Yeah, we have a disclaimer at the beginning when people watch.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good disclaimer
Yeah.
because I think the vast majority of D&D shows out there, while it's becoming more and more normal to have disclaimers and, warnings about specific content, there are not a lot of full on horror D&D shows. Some of them go into like horrific aspects
Yeah.
or, certain adventures might go down that road, but I don't think there's really very many others out there. So it's always
Yeah.
a good thing to remember. Especially after there are cute and adorable things that have happened and you're like, "Oh, yay,
Right.
happy moments with the characters," and then all of
And
a sudden
then
it gets dark
not
again.
so much.
Yeah. Demon Grr wants to know, have you experimented with fluorescent or phosphorescent paints? Ooh.
Yes. Kind of funky. Fluorescent paints I've tried to work with on miniatures, and they're good for accenting colors. But the thing is a lot of those don't do as well performance-wise until you start bringing in specialized lighting. So if it's a matter of you're going to have a
Oh.
display going and have the lighting that helps enhance neon and phosphorescent lights, etc., or paints, I should say, it could be cool to use just as like fluorescent green. It is fantastic for poison details. If you want to make something look really dangerous and poisonous, yeah, break out that fluorescent green. If you're gonna paint the whole mini and you want to try and get like the 80s day glow-esque thing happening, exactly. I'm a demon Grr. You and I are about to say the same thing. Get yourself a black light, and that'll enhance it more. If you have just standard lighting, they're fun, but it's not gonna have the same impact unless you have the specialized lighting.
Good
So
to know.
yeah.
There are those dice that are specifically dice that you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to use under a black light that
Yeah.
without the black light, they're just kind of meh dice. But
Yeah.
then as soon as you get that black light
Oh, then
going,
it's
they look
incredible.
really cool.
Yeah,
And not
absolutely.
just there was the blacklit dice that you can't actually see the numbers on until the black
Right.
light happens, and then there were others that just, all right, this looks like normal dice,
And
and
then
then you
holy
turn on the
moly.
black light. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to be in person. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be in that specific lighting situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're fun, but I have that same kind of opinion about dice, and where like it's a fun, not a gimmick, but it's a fun thing to do. But I'd probably only
Yeah.
use those dice or use that kind of mini for a very specific effect.
Yeah. Or if it's like you have a dedicated game room where you can put those black lights up around and it's just a quick
Yeah.
flick of the button or pushing something on your cell phone. Oh yeah. Have fun with it. Go for it. But, just be careful with how much dedication you put into something that may not show off as well without the right lighting. I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm just going to say if you're looking for something really cool, then be aware of what will showcase it best.
I mean, that totally makes sense. The
Yeah,
How disappointing would it be if someone went out and bought
exactly.
all this fluorescent and phosphor glow in the dark stuff. There we
Mm-hmm.
go. I'm just going to stop saying that word and say glow in the dark things. And then, you do the paint job and you do everything cool, then you sit
Right.
down for your first game with the super cool mini and it's kind of meh.
Yeah,
It's just
especially
kind
the
of
glow in the
meh.
dark stuff. Like the specialized lighting really does make a difference.
Yeah.
It really does. All right, I'm gonna start working on the base now that I've gotten the
Yep,
body
I'm
done.
about to move there myself. I'm just making sure I haven't actually missed any spots.
Right.
And also making sure nothing has pooled too much. Like,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this one has a lot of nooks and crannies in it, so it is advisable.
yeah. And I don't mind if it's pooled in most of it, but I just noticed I was getting
Mm-hmm.
a pool around the eyes. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I don't
don't
want
do it.
those to
Yeah.
be quite so pooly.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna do a little bit of blotting.
that's fair. Okay, almost there.
Rovina says new candy corn flavors. Oh, we
Ooh,
have an
ooh, we
update.
have a
Let me
list.
finish this. Vanilla ice cream, hot dog, fruit punch, popcorn, and hamburger.
No.
Interesting.
Hamburger, no.
No?
No. No hamburger.
Okay.
No
Why?
hamburger.
So is it just because meat or specifically the hamburger?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's because I can't have traditional hamburgers and stuff that might, like, I can't have coffee. The scent of coffee actually makes me very queasy and not feel so fantastic.
Ooh,
Like, I have to make sure it's in a well-ventilated area or air out the room after someone's had coffee. And same thing for me. Like, the smell of hamburgers, I get very queasy making them. But I can eat turkey burgers. Like, I can have turkey burgers and other meat-style burgers. I can even do bison, but I can't have traditional hamburgers. So the smell of a traditional hamburger and all of that, like, it just makes me queasy. So I don't think I could do hamburger.
I mean, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, vanilla ice cream, I think that's going to taste fine. I think vanilla's, especially with candy stuff, I think vanilla is going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
Hot dog is interesting.
Hot diggity dog.
I mean, for me, it needs to be an all beef hot dog because I do not eat pork hot dogs. Yeah. So if it's a pork hot dog, I'm probably not going to like it. But if it's a beef one, I think that's going to be kind of like the hamburger for me where, all right, yeah, I could see.
Yeah.
Fruit punch. That's a wild card.
That can go wrong.
Yeah, it depends on how...
I've had other candy where it's gone wrong and you're just like, that's not fruit punch, that's red.
Yeah. And popcorn I think also works well.
Yeah.
Popcorn I think is going to be good.
Oh, I got a taffy when I was out in Seattle. I can't remember the company now, dang it. They had a popcorn pulled taffy that was so good. Tasted amazing. Yeah. Oh, of course, white cotton balls means this is going to be fun to try in. Here we go. All right, so this is just a basic standard cotton ball. All right. And we're going to turn this into the Spanish moss. And as you can see, as you start to pull and play with it, it gets wispy looking. So that's what we're going to use. But to do this, what we're going to do is first mix a blend of equal parts Mod Podge Ultra, not Mod Podge like the paste you need with a popsicle stick to spread and do paper mache. Not talking about that. Talking about Mod Podge Ultra. Lauren, if you show the one we should be using.
The matte?
Yes. So you want to make sure you're using the matte. I accidentally packed away my matte, so I'm going to be using my glossy one. It's okay. It's okay. I can fix it later.
It's fine.
It's totally fine. So I'm actually going to, open this up and give it a very slight shake because like the washes, some of the mix likes to fall to the bottom. And then, provided I didn't break the can, let's see if this still works. I don't know. Yep. I'm just going to do a few pumps onto my paper plate, which also is white. Are there black paper plates?
You know, I actually looked and I couldn't find any. At least, you know, in just the grocery store where I was grabbing my paper plates. And I was looking for specifically a dark colored paper plate because I get so much bounce back from everything. I bet you there's probably...
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. All right, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to take our our green gray and mix a couple dollops into that to tint the Mod Podge Ultra to give it a grayish tone. So I'm going to take a scoop. Oh, there we go. Yep. I think it looks like one scoop is going to do us to get the tint going here.
There's my green gray.
You can see it's now dyeing that Mod Podge Ultra, which is what I want.
Oh, there we go.
And I'm just using like a simple basic round brush, nothing fancy. But you can see it has a wash-like consistency, but this is all the Mod Podge Ultra underneath, mixed in with the paint. So, 50th birthday plate. Oh, black. Okay, there we go. I'm like, why are we talking about 50th birthday plates? Like over the hill plates, party plates.
Oh, yeah.
Good idea.
That makes sense.
It really does.
All right, might be a bit expensive for what we do, but you know,
if you really want that. So I'm going to tear off some tufts and get them so they're kind of like thread-like almost.
Okay.
Like so. And then you're actually going to let this wick into the cotton. And you'll see it like pulls up a little bit. And we're going to get messy. Honestly, I will take my fingertips and kind of blot it against itself. And then you'll see I get like this.
Oop. I lost a little bit into the Mod Podge. Come back to me.
So now I have something that looks like this. And let me grab a paper towel next to me.
This is a feel.
It is a feel. It is a very interesting texture. So now I have it looking like this, which I want. So I'm going to take this and look for a place I want to drape. Put it here. I'm going to take it and place it here. And there's really no right or wrong where you want to drape it. I'm going to put it over here, and I'm just going to pinch it against the branches. And because of that Mod Podge Ultra, it's going to help the cotton start to stiffen up as it dries.
Okay.
And that is our first little bit of Spanish moss put onto a branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of working on mine. It's my cotton is clumped up a bit too much, but there we go.
You can kind of pull at it a little bit too to open it back up. You can even put it into a paper towel. Oh, let me close the paint before I forget. Little bit. But a little of the mixture goes a long way in the cotton. See, that's the cat I should have had up here today with me, is Cotton. There you go.
All right, we're getting there.
Yeah.
I want it to be slightly more frizzy though, so I'm probably going to pull some more off.
Yeah. If you want it more frizzy, that's where you can go against your fingertips and have some of the mixture on your fingertips and mush between your fingertips so that you're not overloading the cotton. And you'll still have it pick up the tint, but it'll stay fluffier like that.
Okay, that's good because I kind of like the slight fluffier look.
Okay, and then I would take your finger and then blot it on like this.
Okay. And I'm gonna grab a couple questions from chat. Cool. I do see we had a bunch come in, and specifically one that I think is very good for right now. So I'm going to skip to this one and I'll go back. Kevin Bowler wants to know, how do you wash the Modge Podge out of your brush?
Rubbing alcohol 90%. That'll do the trick.
That makes sense.
And if you want to condition your brush afterwards, you can get a brush washing soap bar type of thing and use that to clean your brush one more time, and it should restore some of the oils into your brushes, depending on what style brush you have. But if you're going to use Mod Podge Ultra, get cheap brushes for that, please. Don't use your nice sable brushes. Okay.
Yeah, I basically
don't do that.
picked a brush. I basically picked a single brush. I was just like, well, you're now the one that's going to be crunchy forever.
Exactly. Yeah. Pick your janky old brushes is the better way to go about it, honestly.
But that's a good question considering we're handling the Modge Podge right now. And then I'm going to skip back to Exo Archer, who asks, what's a good way to get into a D&D game? My friend group isn't nearly nerdy enough, even to get through a joke campaign. So, I mean, this is a question that's been around for forever. You are not alone in trying to find a group. So friend groups are a good way to start. Definitely ask around. Ask family as well. You would be surprised. There are people that you would think, they're never going to be into D&D. And then you ask, and they're like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while. So definitely ask the people you know. If you are, so obviously if you're here, you are an Idle Champions fan. Come to our Discord, discord.gg/idlechampions. We have a couple of off-topic places that you can go and ask around, see if there's other people who would like to start up a D&D game. Are there D&D shows that you enjoy? Are you here playing Idle Champions because you're a fan of Black Dice Society and those characters, and you're looking specifically kind of for another horror game like that? Go check out the fan places where people who are fans of Black Dice Society hang out. Because chances are, if you want to play if you want to play a horror game like that, there are going to be other people just like you who want to play in a horror game like that. So start with the place, go to the places that other people like you are hanging out. And then don't be afraid to try a couple games out and, see if people people that you just met on the internet, if, they're right for you or not. Make sure you talk ahead of time about what kind of game everybody wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do find a game and you're like, these people seem nice and everything, but this isn't the game I want to play, it's okay to just step away from the game. It's not anybody's fault. Sometimes this is just not the game for you,
Yep.
and that's okay. But yeah, I would starting with your friends is always good. Go to your family, come to our Discord. I will drink as soon as I don't have Modge Podge green
I was
all
gonna
over my
say when you're
fingers.
not covered in paint and Mod
And
Podge.
I'm not covered in paint, yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, if you are a fan of a specific kind of game or a stream or something like that, go to the places and where those people like to hang out,
Mm-hmm.
because you'll find people who want to play like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly, if they
and
offer anything, any type of thing like a Discord of their own, check out their Discord channels. Oftentimes, I've seen those channels have their own little subs channels of, hey, let's try and get a game going, whether it's online, whether people want to explore doing local. I found that has been a great resource for many people.
mhm.
It's also one of those things where depending on what social media you use beyond Discord, there are some Facebook groups that people use to connect that way as well. Because they start off in D&D groups on Facebook and they end up chatting, and lo and behold, they're in a similar area, etc., etc.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of different avenues you can explore to find.
You could also go check out one of the new places that are specifically for helping people find games,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a paid game or just a place for multiple people to show up. Demiplane has become a place in where you can literally go and look for the kind of
Yeah.
game you want to play, being run by someone, being run by a professional GM, and sign up for a game with people.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to pay for a GM if it's the game you want to play. You're going to find people who are going to be excellent at what they do, and um it's not a weird thing.
No.
Let me put it that way. It's not a weird thing to pay someone for their time and efforts, and if it helps you find a group of people to play with, then there you go.
Yeah.
I
And
am so covered in fuzz.
quite honestly, a lot of times those where you're paying for the paid GM, um, those are the groups that will meet regularly and be invested in it, and you have a routine meeting each week or however
Mhm.
often you meet. So yeah.
I've kind of stuck to one side, but
Yeah, you can see how it's sort of all taking on right now.
yeah.
Tempted to put like a couple in the fingertips, but then I don't know. I'm debating it.
Yeah, I don't want to go too much with this
I
because I
think I'm
feel
kind of
like
happy where I am right now with what's on this.
I'm gonna do one more kind of on the other side because I do feel like I've
Half
I've
tempted
stuck
right
to one
there.
side of this.
Yeah, that's just it. Well, honestly, looking at it, there's more of the branches to the one side. So I think I'm going to do one more on this little sticky outy part. And then we'll
Yeah.
do like that last little bit we need to do to secure these onto the miniature. For sure.
Ugh. Sorry, just every once in a while, it's like, oh, this
Oh,
really
yeah. Yeah.
feels weird. Ugh.
Oh, okay. So, grail shaped. I saw your question about my brace is not painting related. My brace is work related. I have carpal tunnel flare up happening because I've been using my mouse so much lately, trying to get ahead of the game for when I'm, off for a little bit. So I don't have pointers as to why I'm wearing the brace for painting purposes. What I can say when it comes to mini painting and how to take care of your hands and everything, take your breaks, get up and move around. There are hand stretches you can do, which I'm not going to do right now for very pigmented reasons.
Yeah.
But there are things you can do to sort of just rest your hands, relax your hands, take care of your hands. You can find really great hand stretching videos on YouTube, believe it or not. There are a lot of physical therapists out there who will show you different techniques to keep your tendons and your ligaments and your muscles more limber and fluid and buttery to help you out. But no, the brace is not for painting purposes. The brace is because I've been doing a lot with my computer lately.
And as someone who is in an industry that a lot of people get hurt in, because being a professional musician is a lot of um, what do you get carpal tunnel from? Doing the same thing over and over and over
Mm-hmm.
and over again, and it's a repetitive motion
Yeah.
issue.
Yep.
And what do professional musicians do? Do the same kind of things over and over and
Ding.
over again.
Yep.
Definitely look up some stretches, look up some things you can do, because
Yeah.
carpal tunnel is one of those things where once you have it, it's you just have
You
it
have to be
forever and you have
careful.
to deal with it, and it
Yep.
sucks.
Yep. You gotta be careful
I
with
am
it. So
covered in pieces of cotton, but I'm okay
same.
with this.
All right. So we have the cotton pieces on now, and you can see it has this lovely, well, now that it's not white, you have this lovely grody Spanish moss look effect happening here.
Yeah.
Now, to secure this, yes, it has Mod Podge in it, and it'll, it'll help stiffen it up, but to make sure it stays on, we are going to switch over to a little bit of super glue, the liquid form, and what I'm going to do is just hold on, do a test drop on my plate first. I'm going to just let it drop into the connection points so that the super glue will absorb into the cotton ball strands and help it adhere to the mini. Just a little dab will do you for this.
Mm.
And if you're finding it difficult to control your super glue, you can put a big dollop of super glue onto your plate and then take a toothpick or an old ratty paintbrush you're ready to toss and do that instead.
I think that's probably what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Not a
Because I
problem.
made my Spanish moss a little more wispy, I am convinced that as soon as I touch it with the super glue, it's just gonna come with the super glue.
That's
So
fair.
I think I'm gonna go for
That
your
is fair.
suggestion. And here you go. Just stay there.
Just a
Don't
touch.
go, just don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Nope, nope, don't come with the toothpick. Don't come with the toothpick.
Oh, but it will.
All right. Oh. G Nemesis 13 asks, the textured earth paste that they used on the Outhouse Mini, which is the last one we did, how long does that have to dry compared to paints and such? Got inspired to buy some, but wanted to give it enough time to dry before needing the Mini in a game.
Like
Good
24 hours. Give it a good 24 hours to dry and set. I'm going to go in with my little pointer here.
I'm actually going to move the paper plate and just go to I've got my desk covered in paper towels for obvious reasons. I'm going to move to that because the paper plate is, because of how we were painting, it's full of little dots of paint all over the place. And now I've got like a clump of Mod Podge and a little clump of super glue. And I'm like, I'm going to put my Mini down on this paper plate and it's not going to come back up.
Yeah.
So excuse me for a moment as I, there we go. Okay.
And the cool thing that happens is the super glue kind of dries this whitish tone, which then gives it, this is what I love about it. If you look at Spanish moss, it has like this white dust that collects on some of the patches areas. So it gives you that white patchy bit that happens too.
Yeah.
So it's just a fun thing for mimicking Spanish moss.
Yes, G Nemesis, sadly, this is not for the game that you're having tomorrow. You do want to give that a little bit more time to dry.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's for the game next week.
Exactly. So there we go. That gets the moss on there.
Yeah.
All right. And the cool thing is the super glue dries relatively quickly. So that'll help. You still want to let the Mod Podge cotton dry, just by nature of the game. So make sure you let that dry a little bit. It'll probably take a couple hours, quite frankly. Not too terribly long. And then what we can also do with our super glue is put the stone.
Time for the rock.
Into the hand. Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play around and figure out which side is the bitter side.
Yeah, I do feel like there's probably a spot you're supposed to use. I don't know what it is, but
Okay, you see how there's this bit that's like divoted in more?
Yeah.
Put that so it's facing out. I'm going to go for the one that's a little bit more smooth on top, because that looks like it's going to give me a better fit in the hand.
Yeah.
Like so. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put super glue onto the fingertips of the hand of choice. And then I will go in with the stone and just sort of hold it into place. I'm also going to put a little bit onto that palm where the knuckle is. Do that trick. Just let it get let it get a little bit of air. That's not a bad thing with super glue.
And I'm thinking I might wait a little bit longer before I super glue in my rock because everything's still just a little bit wet.
Okay, that's fair.
So I might do my rock super gluing after the show.
There you go. So I'm just gonna hold this in place for a little. Hey, look at that. See, I'm working where it's like it's about 85 degrees right now, and I have a good airflow, so the heat is my friend at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Let's see right there. There we go.
Hey.
Look at that fun. Hee. Yeah, see, I love how this.
Oh yeah, that fits really nicely.
Yeah, it does. Oh, it's got that great mildewing look to it. Yay!
Nice.
Okay, and then I'm going to now. this had been glued down on the base beforehand, and now it's going to get glued back on type of situation. I can always go back in and paint the base if I wanted to with some black. So I'm going to go and put this back on with the super glue.
I think mine, I've got the clear base.
Yeah, mine's an older edition, so you probably have the clear base for it. Or an older print, I should say.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let that rest on the base like that. Super glue to its work.
I do have a random leftover black one too. So.
Hey, there you go. You want to use the clear, go for the clear. So while that super glue is drying, I'm gonna take out my tufted grass. And we're gonna add that around the base here and there just to add some flavor.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cover the whole thing. This is more just a nod. Will this stick on its own, or do I need to bring out some glue? You gonna stick? You gonna stay? Oh, it's gonna stay. Lovely. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the clear.
Mm-hmm. That'll be fun.
I was thinking for a moment I wasn't even gonna put it on a base because this being a big enough mini that it can stand on its own.
Yeah.
But it's a little top heavy.
Yeah, it's top heavy, and it's not quite its true footprint either.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I love doing this part, the little bit of tuft work. It's tuft work, I tell you. It's tuft work.
It's the toughest of work.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get the tufts on first, and I'll bring it up closer so y'all can see what this do before we call it for the evening or the afternoon, depending on where you are.
We are up against time. Holy crap! I didn't realize.
I looked up and I'm like, oh, time has done the flying thing on us today. I actually thought, we might end a little early. I didn't say it, but I was like, I'm ready to end early. But nope.
Nope. Still got plenty to do. So I will be finishing up super gluing my rock and putting on my tufts a little bit later, but why are you not sticking to the base? Stick to the base.
All right, here you go.
So now you can see. On the base.
I just put a few tufts of grass on there.
Yeah.
Just to kind of add some visual interest. I could go in and do the textured paint if I wanted to. I'm not going to worry about that. But here you can see, this has just got this gnarly look to him now.
Yeah. I'm really, now that the wash is on the legs, I'm extra liking the legs.
Yeah.
And the mushrooms. Yeah. They look really gnarly.
Yes. So that is the Treant. And again, if you want sense of scale, this is a medium miniature. Placed next to the Treant. It's sizable. They're good size.
It's a good size. Yeah.
This is a lovely Koshmarian treant. Oh, this absolutely would fit in Koshmar, no question about it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yes. All right. So that being said, holy heck, how is it already time to wrap things up?
It is already time to wrap things up. Thank you so much to Martin and Jordan for being our amazing moderators. Thank you to everybody in chat for hanging out with us. Stick around because we've Garwar's Guide to Everything coming on after us, and Garwar has a guide for everything. And if not, Garwar will have a guide to something you're going to ask in chat. Thank you, as always, to V for being our lovely teacher. We will see you in 3 weeks live. Next week we'll have the Myconid episode 1. In 2 weeks we'll have Myconid episode 2, and then we'll be back after that. So thank you, everybody. And anything else I need to say? I can't think of anything.
Good luck, Nika, if you haven't already.
Go get Nika.
Bye.